Second day here at the Remarkables. It's the last day of July and I'm looking forward to much better August and September. Anyway, it's only my second day because the snow hasn't been very appealing and it's quite crusty at the moment because it rained, and apparently last night there were a couple of centimeters on top, but it's, in my opinion, quite average. You can hear a helicopter, hopefully nobody is injured. Okay. The happiness of being in the mountain cannot be underrated. So basically it's been a win. The snow was just like Coronet Peak usually, which means quite icy. I have never actually seen the Remarkables like that, so icy, but never mind, there's still some runs to be had. And of course just sitting out in the sun is amazing. Now of course the weather has become a bit more dull, meaning that you can't really see much, and we're gonna start driving down. But it's been a fun second day. I'm happy I came up. Supposedly it had rained overnight, and this was actually why I came up. The snow was very, very scant, but never mind, it was a beautiful day. So let's see if we can actually see the run down without posing any dangers to anyone, because I'm gonna do it off hands. Both of my hands are on the wheel, and I'm just gonna flip the camera to the other side. We can see some blue skies, and I'd say this Remarkables drive is one of the most scenic ones, and you can see the lakes, Lake Hayes, Lake Wakatipu. Don't know if it can be visible from the camera, and I'm not going to make any effort because I have to be safe. I don't want to take any risks, but let's hope that there will be some clear patches. Actually, while we are driving down the Remarkables, I'm just going to share a little bit with you about Queenstown in the winter. Our seasons, ski season, usually starts in June, sometimes at the beginning of June and sometimes at the end of June. It would depend on what kind of snow is expected. This year it started in the middle of June, and there was a lot of snow in the beginning. Everybody was with very, very high expectations, but the snow has melted because the weather was too warm, and now we have had also a little bit of rain, which has contributed to the melting of the snow caps of Queenstown. If you can, and Coronet Peak is gonna come up just ahead of us. I can see the guns are blazing at Coronet. It is just here to the left. There is a mountain. Just like, I can't point because I don't want to risk it. But I can see the snow guns are blazing. That means it's quite cold up there, and maybe we'll give it a try another day. But for now we'll just stick to the Remarkables because Coronet tends to get quite icy at the start of the season. Sometimes of course it's absolutely incredible, but at the start of the season it's usually quite icy. But if you're a beginner, the beginner runs are very nice. The meadows, those are very good. If you're a beginner, if you like the green slopes, which are the easiest ones, then you can just do meadows. people might be a bit scared to drive up because the road is quite windy, and it's recommended that you always have chains in the car. I've never had to use my chains, but I always carry them with me. If you rent a car, you should also hire some chains just to be on the safe side, because you don't want to be stuck in the mountain when it starts snowing, or when the ice is formed on the road, because sometimes you do get ice formed, so you want to be safe. So you always want to carry chains with you, and of course pray that you don't have to put them up. You can see the Remarkables is just tussocks. It is a lot of tussocks. There are basically no trees. It is bare. Some of my friends have said that it looks like a dinosaur's back, like dinosaur skin.